What do you experience in a QHHT session? So many people have asked that question lately, and there are so many different answers to that question because every single session is unique. So to distill it into maybe a few smaller categories, so I'm not branching off into too many, what frequently are coming through these days happen to be nature, very old, primitive, or farmer, or a simple life. That's one. Another one is frequently people coming in as animals or as energy and experiencing a very simple life in that regard. And I'll see a number of other lately who are experiencing lives in other planets, other beings. Their skin is a different type of skin, and they can tell that they are not human. They are something else because they can feel it. They have a tactile experience of that. All these things are just many different ways that the session can go. Lately, I'll just dive into a couple here. Last week, a woman came in and experienced life as a dolphin, and it didn't necessarily feel like it was a dolphin the first second or even the first minute. I was watching the clock for this one. It took about 13 minutes before she realized that she was a dolphin. And what ensued prior to that was a lot of uncertainty, feeling like it was just so dark in every direction, and there's nothing to see, there's nothing to feel. It's just all the same. She felt like her energy was the same. And she jumped in. Eventually, after some time, I can only imagine if you're a human jumping into the body of a dolphin even in a dream, it would take some time to understand what was happening. And this is what happened. And what was so amazing and astounding about that was that within the first 30 seconds of her recognizing that she was a dolphin, she was looking for her family. And then another 10 or 15 seconds later, she was bawling. She was crying so hard. And she cried and cried and cried because she was missing her family. A long story short was that she got separated. And it was a deep lesson in understanding how you can live apart from those who love you and apart from those you love. So that was one really special journey as an animal that I've seen recently. Another I've seen recently that had a lot of poignancy was in a primitive village. It was a young girl who lived her entire life in this primitive situation. And she saw the change of, I'm guessing maybe modernization or industrialization. We didn't get a perfect sense of what the era was, and that doesn't always happen. If it does, it's great. It's more information. And I always ask the client, to just think about it, feel in and see what feels right to you. Also, look back on your session, listen to the recording. If you feel compelled to research anything that you saw, that's also a nice way to get information with the era. But that's not something in my position as a practitioner. That doesn't usually help my client in the very best way. It can actually be detracting to them. So instead, I'll go with what they say and work with that. So we'll work with what comes up, in other words, and not pry for too many details and analysis there. So that was just an amazing life that she saw, the journey she saw from child to an old person who had watched sort of a changing of the guard from these primitive times to slightly more industrialized. The community was branching out, and the lessons there had to do with how important nature is and that you can communicate with every element you can communicate with. And that change is okay. That change is natural. Change is part of our experience of nature. So what change represents to us as humans in these kind of very troubled times can be scary. It can bring in like all other feelings, right? Embrace change was the big message that she got. Seems like a lot of people, a lot of viewers, a lot of people experiencing sessions lately are also encountering this sort of thing. So that felt like a significant recent session that kind of encapsulates a number of people I'm noticing coming through. And another form of client that I've seen recently, these are special clients that maybe they have encountered some fear or judgment about their beliefs or what they thought their experiences were with off-Earth entities / extraterrestrials, beings from other galaxies. And this is really common knowledge and information for any Dolores Cannon fans, right? So we're really excited about it. Many of the people that I've recently seen have had such deep healing from experiencing something of the supernatural and or from another Earth-like planet or another planet, getting to the heart of what it was showing them. And when it does get to the heart of what was showing them, they leave feeling completely relaxed. They leave, I see it on their faces. I see it in the way that their mannerisms are. They don't carry it as a weight of I'm like this, but I'm not like all these other people. They don't feel that anymore. Then they finally understand, I had this experience in a past life. I had such and such interaction, or I'm from this kind of mentality, and I don't need to worry about what people think about me anymore. And what a great lift. What a great lift. So that's just a nutshell. Holy cow, I can't believe I just talked about only 3 types of sessions. But you get the idea. Every session's different. The flow of a session is different. I love the fact that it is so different for each and every journey. It really meets you where you are in your moment, in your time, with exactly the right timing and practitioner and location. So trust that, because you are going to have a wonderful session if you haven't already. I'm so glad to have you listen, and I'm really happy to share all of these stories with you.